Ryan Poles, Ben Johnson are together. Trade deadline has come and gone. Poles talking, Adam Jahns joining us to start the show. And a special guest coming up. Look at the set. Oh, you can't see it, but it starts with the numbers 1 and 7. CHGO Bears Podcast starts right now. This is the CHGO Bears Podcast. Welcome in on a beautiful Hump Day Wednesday. Ton to do today. And as always, we are proudly presented by our friends at Bet365. It is never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app today. Get yourself $200 in bonus bets when you use the code CHGO365 after you deposit $10 and make that first $5 bet. Win or lose, you get your money. All right. Alongside my handy-dandy Gregory P. Allen Braggs. The P today stands for really annoyed with me because I wouldn't talk Kyle Monungai with him before the show. But we'll do that at some point just to make you happy that you can dunk on me and how I was wrong about Monungai and everything else you want to dunk on me for that's in your cranium that's been bothering you about me.
Good. Thank you.
No problem. No problem. We got you. So huge day today. Poles talking, Ben Johnson talking. And yes, we were out at Banner last night hanging out with our guy Tyson Bagent. So myself and Hogue, we're out there. We'll play that interview coming up for you. Oh, call it 32 minutes and 38 seconds from now. But first, we go out. Yes?
It's just a big day today. A lot happening at Halas Hall. Colson Loveland wins NFC Offensive Player of the Week. Kyle Monungai gets the angry scepter for angry runs from our guy Kyle Brandt. It's just a big day.
Huge. Hit the like button for Adam Jahns, who's joining us now from Halas Hall. It was kind of a little bit of a covert Ryan Poles situation today. The Bears did not stream it. The elite media that was there got to enjoy it. We're not playing any audio or video because that was how they wanted this one to go down. So Jahns is our caveat to Ryan Poles today and everything else going on at Halas Hall. Let's just start with that, Jahns. Good to see you always, of course. Your number one thing that you learned from the GM today was what?
Well, we could start with some of the obvious things that Ryan Poles did probably have a lot of the obvious conversations that you hope you would have in terms of finding a pass rusher, finding some pass rush help for the Chicago Bears. But it takes two to tango, right, guys? And sometimes when you're a team like the Bears who is resistant in terms of parting with high round picks, that's one thing he said, did not want to part with, day 1, day 2 draft picks. Those deals just won't come to fruition. So that's where the Bears are at. Obviously, they made the move for Joe JTS. I'm calling him JTS just to shorten the name down a little bit. But if I had one important takeaway from the 9 minutes that we spent with Ryan Poles here at Halas Hall, it was what he said about Ben Johnson and Dennis Allen having the thoughtfulness and the awareness to keep the big picture in mind when these discussions are happening with other teams, to not get caught up in the moment. And he even admitted himself having a little bit of tunnel vision when these discussions are happening. You get competitive, you see these good players who are available, and you want to add them to your team. But it was Ben Johnson and Dennis Allen who had the thoughtfulness and the awareness to keep the big picture in mind here for the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, I think sometimes these kind of statements can be overstated, but I'll say it anyway. Is it, or I'll at least ask it anyway, did him admitting those things kind of make it more clear how much Ben Johnson is kind of running this ship? Because that's what it feels like. Ryan Poles has certainly been a lot more aggressive in the past. They are in the playoff picture, but him talking about how Ben kind of helped him with his tunnel vision kind of leads me to believe that Ben's really pulling the levers here.
Now, if you were asking this question to Ben Johnson, there is no way that he is characterizing it like that. Right. I think you have a young coach working quite closely with a young GM, but it's also a young coach who knows he's here for a long time. He's got a 5-year contract. He knows he needs more through the draft, and that's the best way to build a team. And obviously Ryan Poles' timeline is a bit different. He's been here longer than Ben Johnson, so you can maybe understand some of his tunnel vision if he sees a Max Crosby and the aggressiveness that he wants to take in adding a player like that. But sometimes parting with 2 first-round picks or a second-round pick, throw that in there, and another player to be named, like maybe that's not the best course of action. Because I did find it notable that when Ryan Poles was discussing how stunned he was about some of these deals that were made across the league, obviously we know the New York Jets traded some of their best players, like he says he wants to track how those pan out for those respective teams because one team has a lot of draft capital now and one team has 2 good young defensive players, but you want to see where this goes. Like there needs to be – it's easy to get caught up in the moment, I guess what I'm trying to say.
And I don't think anybody in any corner of Bears land, maybe there's a little bit of noise that I saw is either in our Discord or on Twitter, most likely on Twitter, that how come we didn't go and get a corner? But I think 98% of all Bears fans are pretty much happy that they stayed the course, didn't do anything crazy, kept their draft picks. It is interesting that Poles is sort of underlining the contributions of Ben and Dennis Allen, but this seems like, not that you make moves to satisfy the fan base, because that would be ridiculous. Fan base just wants you to win however you get there, and they'll be happy when you do, not so much that just whatever you did at the trade deadline or in the draft. But it does seem like this is being well received. So
I just think you have to be, like, if you're the Bears, and I think this starts with Ryan Poles and Ben Johnson, you just got to be honest. You really have to look at your team honestly and ask yourself, is parting with the first-round pick, a second-round pick, for a player who may be here for 2 years, a player, maybe on the other side of his prime, or maybe entering the final stages of his career in a Trey Hendrickson or a Max Crosby, really the best course of action? Like, of course, adding players of that caliber would bring unbelievable excitement to this fan base. It would ignite this locker room. It obviously would do that. But in the long term, is that the best course of action when you have other holes revealing themselves, through 8 games into this season? I think the honest approach at looking at your roster and asking yourselves, are we really on that track towards contending? Are we really a serious contender? Like, I think those honest conversations were had here at Halas Hall, as excited as they are about their 5-3 start.
So going back to JTS here,
like that?
Yeah, I do like JTS. I think that makes it a lot easier.
What about Inky Dinky?
Yeah, I think we're
got to bury that one.
I think we're burying the Inky. But when you listen to Ryan Poles talk about how he stood out in a game where they played the Bucs a couple years ago, and he compared kind of the fit in a similar fashion to what Dom Rob brings to the table here. Where do you see how they kind of went about that evaluation and bringing JTS to Chicago?
I think Ryan Poles did a good job of setting the expectation level at a good, safe point. The Bears have a contributor. They have a role player. That's who they added in JTS. This isn't a player who's going to come in here and light the world on fire as the Bears' second best pass rusher behind Montez Sweat. You hope that player is Austin Booker. But as far as JTS, I think Ryan Poles, the expectation level was set. We need you to come and contribute and handle a role in an effective manner, just like Dominique Robinson did, whether that's against the run or certain third down stops, certain looks that you want to provide offenses, or certain looks that Dennis Allen wants to use. That's the right way to approach this. It's setting the expectation at the right level. I think Ryan Poles did that. Like right now, Booker's a starter. Like, he's your starter opposite Montez Sweat. And I think he feels good about that, especially given what he did last week against the Bengals.
It was interesting. He referenced, when it comes to JTS, Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, let's give him the full respect. He referenced a game from week 2 in 2023 that the Bears won. They beat the Browns 27-17, but Shoyinka had against the Bucs. Excuse me, I said the Browns. Against the Bucs, he had 4 tackles and 2 sacks in the game. So he's remembering a performance from 2 seasons ago to sort of underline why he wanted. So he obviously was impressed by the talent that day, and it stuck with him enough, at least, that he was willing to flip a 6th for a 7th or 7th for a 6th.
It was the Bucs tape that made the Bears, make this move. That's what they were sold upon. That's what they evaluated more. Guys, he only played 31 snaps this year for the Browns, so there's not much to really go off of. So your projections have to go back in time a little bit, and of course that film's going to stand out. I think it was a lot against Braxton Jones, but I remember covering that game. You're wondering who this guy is. First-round pick, last pick of the first round from a couple of years ago, but he was outstanding that game. I do remember that.
It's like level of you remembering things that I said. You said in 2022, Carm, that, it's okay.
Listen,
we can talk about that after the show.
Yeah, we're going to get to your Monungai takes here later on.
Right.
But did you get a chance to listen in on Ben Johnson with everything going on with polls? We're going to play some of different audio clips here in a little bit after you hop off, but what were some of your takeaways from hearing from Ben Johnson today?
I know it was pretty interesting that Ryan Poles declined to answer a question about Caleb Williams and his progress, leaving it up to Ben Johnson. But Ben Johnson, guys, I feel like has talked about Caleb Williams every single day. There's just different questions just in terms of where he's at, in 2-minute situations. Where's his footwork at? Where are his eyes at? How comfortable is he doing this? Is play action working? There's been so many answers. So I don't mind Ryan Poles sticking with what Ben Johnson is saying about Caleb Williams. And the prevailing message again was that he's getting better, that he's where we expect him to be, that we expected some ups, we expected some downs, but we like his process. We like that he's putting the work in behind the scenes. And then you see some of that come to fruition on game days. They're not overselling what Caleb Williams is doing. They're not doing that by any means. They know that there's been a lot of downs that have come this year, but they also know he's a work in progress and that you see some of the flashes and you see some of the comfort improving, whether that's in the pocket or executing certain play action plays that Ben Johnson loves to call. So, yeah, I know that was pretty notable that Ryan Poles refused to answer a question, but I think a lot of that's just sticking with messaging, and Ben Johnson has had a lot of messages about Caleb Williams today and really all season.
It was interesting though. Hey, where's Caleb at? He could have he could have just, hey, I really love a lot of things that he's doing, X, Y, and Z. It wouldn't have been hard to do that. And he's not going there. And I agree with everything the head coach has said.
Let me read you what Ryan Poles said. So it was Kevin Powell, a friend from WGN Radio. Can you talk about Caleb Williams? Where's your evaluation at with him right now? Here's Ryan Poles' answer. He goes, I'm not going to get into that today. I think we can all say that our head coach has done a great job informing you all with where he's at. And I have agreed with everything he has said. To me, that's just messaging. I think Ryan Poles went into this little meeting with the media today that if I'm asked about Caleb Williams, this is going to be my answer, because I know Ben Johnson has talked about him at length, and he just wants to keep the messaging probably in line with what Ben Johnson is saying without giving some type of soundbite that gets carried away.
Yeah, I guess. I'm also just I'm still minor league confused. I really like his progress. That's it. I mean, that wouldn't have been some huge soundbite. I love where we're headed. So I don't know. I'm not saying that doesn't mean that he's not happy with what's going on. Maybe he's thrilled with what's going on. Maybe winning a game last week and Caleb having an enormous run and then a great throw that sealed grabbing victory from the jaws of defeat. Shockingly, the way the Bears went about the game. Yes, go ahead.
Does that speak to the alignment more that that's part of the headline of today's episode as well, is between Ben Johnson and Ryan Poles, that Ryan Poles is saying, hey, no, I'm gonna go with what the coach says. He's seeing it through his eyes, and I'm just gonna trust that that's what it is, and I'm not going to add any extra commentary to it.
I think yes. I think you're correct. I think Jahns is correct in saying that he doesn't want a soundbite getting twisted. But I also think Carm's correct that it with a little more thoughtfulness into it, it's not that hard to just say something very simplistically like, I like where we're going. He's doing a great job with Ben Johnson. Whereas saying, I'm not going to comment on that also can be something that turns into a soundbite as well. So there is a little bit damned.
To be fair, like Branks, now we're talking about him, not
correct.
We're talking about him, not commenting on it.
Right. So it is a damned if you do, damned if you don't thing. But I actually do kind of lean towards Carm here a little bit, in that you can say something that isn't a huge report card on him without it being some scaling thing.
That was my initial takeaway too. Was in that moment I'm like, oh, that's an interesting answer. Why not just say, oh yeah, we've seen progress. We like where this direction's going, and we're expecting to see it get even better as we go.
But I think that also speaks to the sensitivity at times with how Caleb's. You said it, Jahns. Every day he's asked a different form of a question of Caleb's progress. He was asked on Monday. Now it's 2 days later. Now we need a new update on Caleb's progress. Yesterday was an off day. Well, whatever it was on Monday hasn't changed, but we want a new soundbite every day from the head coach on where Caleb is at. You even saw it with the sideline reporter for CBS that's taking a lot of heat from Bears fans. She asked Colson Loveland at the end of the game, "Hey, you think people will lay off Caleb now?" And everybody's kind of sick of it. Like I think Bears.
That wasn't her best question.
But I also just think that Bears players, coaches, everyone, I think is probably grown a little tired of the micro analyzing of everything Caleb does. But that ultimately comes with the territory being a quarterback in the NFL, and certainly one in Chicago.
Jahns, I guess we can wrap on a couple of things here. One, just giving Ryan Poles a layup victory here. I like the fact that he said that he called around about everyone. Like, hey, what's it going to cost for Trey Hendrickson? Quinn Williams, what's the price for that? Like, he said that, hey, listen, of course you have all the calls. So they did their due diligence and they had a price point, and this is where the Bears ended up. Sexy or not sexy? Obviously not sexy. But I don't know. I enjoyed that little moment in time, which is him doing his job, but I still like the fact that he was making the calls.
Well, you have to do your job. You have to do your due diligence. And what if you're just surprised? What if the Raiders are like, you know what? You can have Max Crosby for a 4th-round pick this year and a 4th-round pick 2 years from now. You got to be ready for those types of scenarios, because this league, like, nothing surprises me anymore. Like the Indianapolis Colts, like, just speaking in terms of like which situations, like I'm watching, if I'm a GM, like Ryan Poles kind of alluded to, like the Indianapolis Colts, fellas, just went all in on Daniel Jones. Like that is the situation to watch, because I think Chris Ballard has taken some heat there. Obviously, he's missed on like his draft pick at quarterback. So it'll be kind of curious to watch how that unfolds in Indianapolis. And then also in Dallas, where Matt Eberflus now has 2 new defensive starters. Like Matt Eberflus is probably doing dances down there in Arlington because he's so happy he's got like the best young defensive tackle in the game. But at the same time, they parted with an awful lot to get him, and there's not much help coming in the future via draft picks because of that. So, it's interesting to see what teams do, because nothing really surprises me or anyone in the NFL right now.
The Cowboys aspect of it is bizarre. I mean, I get it. Jerry Jones was honest about it. He's like, well, I'm not getting any younger. I respect that he was honest about it, but man, that's shorts. I talk about tunnel vision, right? I mean, that's what that is.
Well, they effectively traded Micah. They traded Micah Parsons for Quinnen Williams and a 1st-round pick. Then, right? That's what we're gonna look at this.
Or Kenny Clark.
And Kenny Clark, yeah,
right.
That's not bad when you look at it like that.
It's becoming somewhat more of a wash, but at the same time, they didn't have to do that. And what their record is right now, and their odds of making the playoffs being very slim to nil.
It's an impulse buy.
I understand
They just lost to the Cardinals and Jacoby Brissett.
I mean, they have a high-octane offense. They certainly can go on a run. But at the same time, Jerry, I don't, knock on wood, I don't think you're going to kick this year, man. You have a chance to win it next year if you stay patient, right? But, patience is a virtue that few of us can master. I certainly can't.
You're great at everything. I love you. I wonder what Flus's nickname, Mr. Quinnen Williams. He's got a great opportunity here. Q-Dog. Q-Tip, Big Q.
Not Inky Dinky.
Not Inky Dinky. No, definitely not that. Hey, all right, on your way out, Johnsy, trivia, because. Yeah, well, as we leaned into Poles' evaluation from 2023, Bears Bucks won that game 27-17. And Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, 4 tackles in the game, all solo, 2 sacks. What Chicago Bear player had his one good game, if you want to call it that, in a Bear uniform that day?
Offense or defense?
Offense.
Draft pick or not draft pick?
Not a draft pick.
Not a draft pick.
Random wide receiver.
Chase Claypool? Was he on the team then?
Is that your guess, Steven?
Yeah.
Yes. Chase Claypool caught his 1 touchdown
I told you.
as a Chicago Bear in that game. The guy that was dominating training camp, according to one person on this show, had his 1 touchdown in a Bear uniform. Way to go.
Thank you.
Yep.
Didn't he do something at the end of the game, though? Like,
I don't remember.
Yeah, all right.
Like if you need a reason why not to give up a second-round pick, there you go.
There it is. It's all tied together. From Claypool to Shoyinka. Let's go, JTS. All right.
Well, before you go, Johnsy, any updates here on I know you guys just put out an insider analysis article on CHGO Sports. Anything you want to update, our viewers and subscribers on what you're working on?
Well, I think Tyson Bagent, when he comes on your show here a little bit later, will probably give you a more thorough breakdown than my guy Adam Hogue did. What was that play called? Baby Daddy?
Baby Daddy. Dog.
Baby Daddy. Baby Daddy.
Yeah. I think everyone's going to enjoy the interview with Tyson at the bottom of the hour.
We also didn't get an update on your son's championship on Sunday, right?
Yeah.
It was a tough one, boys. Tough one. Our boys had a resilient season, but the resiliency kind of ran out at the end. But you know what? They fell behind early big because of turnovers, but they battled back and made it a game, in the fourth quarter, which is all you could ask for. But, yeah, thank you. Yes, it's important. You got to have it.
Good life lessons, right?
Yes, can't win them all.
Well, that's great dadding right there. Good job getting him there. Good job being there. And good job having a positive attitude afterwards after apparently they choked it away.
Wow. Wow. Oh, my goodness.
Ouch. Man. No, it was a great game. Great season by those boys, especially proud of my son and all his friends.
Jahns, you're the best. Good stuff. And are we talking tomorrow? We get Hogue tomorrow? How does this all
We'll
work?
figure it
I
out.
think you got a Hogue tomorrow.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see on Hogue and Jahns then.
John's not going to talk to you after what you just said.
Oh, he knows
Oh, yeah,
I'm
there's
kidding.
some revenge coming now.
You just have to understand, Johns. He's a championship coach, 3-time champion.
Right. I mean,
he has a standard for coaching excellence in the city.
The Bulls show has the championship thing on here. How come we don't have it? I should have it in my lap every day. That's actually on me. All right, Jahns, get going. We appreciate it, brother.
See you, boys.
All right. Is that wrong? Might have been a little bit wrong.
You are a very wrong person.
I'm a wrong person. All right. So there was a ton from Ben that we haven't gotten to. We'll hear from Ben Johnson, the head coach of the Chicago Bears, next. But first,
want to give a shout out to our good friends over at Arena Club. It's been a lot of fun working with them here this year, buying and selling and trading cards. If you're ready to level up your collection or get started trading cards, well, Arena Club's original slab packs bring the thrill of ripping packs combined with the power to buy, sell, and trade all in one place. Look, the traditional trading card cycle, you buy a box, rip it open, pull the few valuable cards, and then send them off for grading. Weeks later, you finally get them back, and then you can sell to the shop or online. It's a huge process. Arena Club has flipped that entire cycle on its head. Get authentic graded cards instantly on Arena Club. You decide, hold, sell, or have it shipped to you directly. There's no guesswork. One click, cash in. Right now, you can get 20% off your first slab pack or card purchase by going to arenaclub.com/CHGO and make sure you use the code CHGO.
and a shout out to our friends at Bet365. It is never ordinary at Bet365. You could have cashed in on Bet365 if you bet the Sixers last night. 17 points they go up by. You're in the money. And then You come back, the Bulls win. Greatest pass ever by Josh Giddey. One a night on Bet365. Hey, breaking news from Bet365. New customers, you know what you get? You know what you get. You get $200 in bonus bets when you bet $5 win or lose. You sign up, use the code CHGO365. You deposit $10. You place a bet for $5. You're in the money. $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. Bonus bets can be used on spreads, on totals, on player props, on futures, or more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. You do have to be 21 or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER, in-app only. All right, let's get to the head coach of your Chicago Bears, Ben Johnson.
Let's do it.
And how much do you love a Ben Johnson press conference, Braggs? Like 1 to 10, where do you come in at on a Johnson press conference?
Oh, man, it's an easy 10 for me.
It's an easy 10, right?
Yeah, I'm ready to build the statue for this guy.
Should we champion that? Call up the Bears. Hey, let's just do this. We all know where this is going. Multiple Super Bowls.
Yep.
Walking down, parade on Michigan Avenue. Greg Braggs crying in the arms of Gary Ross. It's going to be amazing.
I cannot wait.
It's all on the table.
I can't wait.
So let's, might as well get going. But, all right. By the way, shout out to the chat. Carm is right. You're going a little too far, but the moniker is fantastic. Carm is right is new today. And I needed that because Lord knows supported life is good. Shout out Carm is right.
Shout out Carm is right.
Shout out Carm is right. Let's just, let's not troll everybody with the Carm is right. But it's okay. You do what you do, Carm is right. Because we're on the same team, clearly. All right, so here was Ben, and he gave a ton of praise to a guy who has been up and down, but is looking a whole lot more up as of late, and that is the right tackle, Darnell Wright. So this was Ben talking about his right tackle with some big-time praise for a guy who perhaps is coming into his own.
He's another guy that he's playing really good football right now. It's good to see excitement like that. I thought the whole crew, they were super fired up. Not only to win the game, but to do it in that type of fashion. Like I said, we hadn't done that as an offense yet, and we were just kind of waiting for a moment to, get some yards and some points when we needed to. And so I thought it was a really good boost there for our offense.
What's gotten better for him? What's improved over the course of the season? And what have you thought of him playing through what I assume is still an injured elbow?
Yeah, no, really prideful in how he goes about his business. The fact that he's out there, he didn't want to come out when it happened, even though it was pretty obvious when you watched the tape that it was a factor, a few games ago on him. So he's a tough guy. I think the biggest thing to me is he's been a very consistent player since the season started. You knew what the talent was going to be. I saw it coming out of Tennessee. I loved the player coming out of Tennessee myself. You just wondered, hey, is he going to be able to put it all together? And I feel like Coach Rochar and Kyle Devan and those guys have done a really good job of helping him. I think Jonah Jackson being next to him, Joe Tooney being in that room, I think that's gone a long way for him. I don't want to say learning how to be a pro. He's been in this league now for a minute, and so he knows what that looks like, but he comes to work every single day, and he knows when to crack a joke and smile, and yet he can snap it back in and be serious in a hurry too, which I think it's the balance that we want all of our guys to have. So I'm just really proud of how consistent he's been from the start of the season up until this point.
So multiple times he uses the word consistent. And then I thought there was also a little window into, I'm not sure that Ben Johnson would have drafted Darnell Wright because he loved the talent, but he was wondering if he would put it all together, which is not generally what you would perhaps use on a 10th pick overall, right? You're more making a sure bet at that point. But I think Ben has done a ton in supporting this guy. Rochar, the offensive line coach, Jonah next to him, Tooney in the room. And look, that question started with him doing cartwheels and whether or not he saw the cartwheel on the game-winning throw to Loveland. And So he could have just had fun with it and it'd been done in 10 seconds. But he really went along, took some serious time underlining all the good things that are Darnell Wright now.
Well, as he should. I mean, he's arguably your best player on offense right now. I know that sounds crazy. I get it.
It does sound crazy.
It does sound crazy, but we talked about this like a month ago, right? When the penalties were, happening every game. I certainly was getting frustrated with it. And then we kind of talked here on the show about, like, I said, if he just showed the consistency with his play and cleaning up the penalties the way he does as a blocker. And remember, I showed you that kind of clip reel of him being a physical blocker. Now that's all really coming home to show itself. And to me, when he talks about him being most proud of his consistency, that speaks to this coaching staff, I believe, challenged him in the offseason.
Sure.
Because you heard Dan Rochar, even during training camp, challenging him as well. That when he gets fatigued is when he makes the mental errors, was the quote. And now Ben's saying this. And he's been on a dominant stretch since the bye week. And our guy Shane Marsaw, who joins us every Monday night on After Dark, said, hey, remember when Ozzie Trapillo showed up, in the Raiders game and played right tackle because Darnell Wright was hurt? That was a big game. You get Max Crosby running wild, and all of a sudden Max, was a little quieter in the second half when you had Ozzie Trapillo come out there. Well, now all of a sudden Darnell Wright's played his best stretch of football since post-bye. And so I think the coaching staff challenging him, and also the threat of a guy like Ozzie Trapillo standing there has encouraged Darnell Wright to now take his game to the next level.
Yeah, the Trapillo point is a very fair one, and I think it just speaks to normal human tendencies. If no one is behind you pushing you, most people are going to take their foot off the gas. It's just I worked hard. I'm here. There's only so many Stephen Nicholases out there who are always going to feel like somebody's coming for his chair or whatever it is that motivates you on a daily basis.
No one's coming for my chair.
No, I know. But to me, drafted a guy who they wanted to play a left tackle, looks more like a right tackle. My contract days are coming up soon here. I better kick it in. And I don't know how much that had to do with the 10%, 15%, or whatever it is, but the guy is supremely talented, and I do think whatever's happened, you're seeing him pile drive people into the ground. You're seeing Ben Johnson talk about his consistency, which means, Ben is watching the tape on everybody, I'm sure, every single week. So for him to underline consistency, that's a hell of a compliment for him.
Yeah, and I see Hogue in the chat, yelling that Joe Thuney is still on the team, and I understand that. But the reality is, the offensive line certainly took a while to come together, and the run game as well. And that interior of the offensive line, even Ben Johnson said it took them, some time to kind of find each other. Joe Thuney certainly hasn't made many mistakes, if any. He had the one false start that I'm not even sure was. It was close. I guess it was. But regardless, Joe Thuney's so quiet out there, you don't notice him because he doesn't make mistakes. That being said, you
as an expert evaluator, though, would always underline how good Joe Thuney is because you're afraid of Hogue. And
Joe Thuney's a great player. I'm not saying otherwise. But right now, Darnell Wright, if you look at certain metrics and grading systems, he's like one of the top graded right tackles in football. And, when he puts blocks like that on tape, I'm sorry, I said arguably the best player on offense, and I think you could make a fair argument because of how well Darnell Wright has played. They have been running successfully behind him for a large part. Even when they couldn't get the run game going in the first 4 weeks of the season, they could run behind Darnell Wright and get yards because of the way he moves people.
Top 5 most valuable Chicago Bears so far this season. Go ahead. Top 5 right now on the spot.
Most
Do
valuable?
It. Yeah. Who's whatever you want, however you want. Best players, top 5 guys right now so far this year. I'll put this is probably a segment that we would think through and then come up with it. But on the spot, What would you say?
Well, it certainly started with Roma Dunze, and then he fell off a little bit here these last few weeks in terms of, touchdown production or anything of that nature.
Right.
Joe Thuney and Darnell Wright are those 3 guys.
Who else?
Caleb Williams.
That's your 4? Is this the order, or is this just a 5 lot?
On the offensive side of the ball. Then if you go to flip it to the defensive side of the ball, you have Kevin Byard, right?
Yes, you can. Right, we can name all the
Tremaine
Bears.
Edmonds.
Yeah.
I'm not naming all the Bears. I'm naming the biggest impact players. Said that was 5.
That's your 5.
Kevin Byard, Tremaine Edmonds,
I've got one that's ascended as of late that we didn't bring up just
Carman
now.
on guy.
I mean
Kidding.
that was one game. I was gonna say Montez Sweat. He's actually I believe it was Poles that brought it up today, or was it Ben Johnson?
That's another interesting way to look at it. By the way, go ahead.
Was it Poles that brought him up?
He did. Poles brought him up.
Poles said he's starting to look like he did in that half season that the season they acquired him.
Right.
The last several games, more so than what he saw in the full season last year. And I agree. We've seen some forced fumbles. We see him getting to the quarterback now. And, if this 4-week stretch continues throughout the duration of a season, we're going to look back at his stats this year and we're going to say, hey, this was a really good year for Montez Sweat.
Well, but that's the key, right? Is it's just started here since the bye. So if we're going off of for the season, Darnell Wright, Joe Tooney, Rome Odunze, Tremaine Edmonds, Kevin Byard, those have been your most consistent, right?
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good list.
Sure, that's a good list right there. Bottom line, it is I would just say slightly positive that there is at least some debate here as to who should be on there, because when last year you would probably struggle to find 5 guys.
You certainly weren't going to find 2 on the offensive line. And now and honestly, Jonah Jackson's been playing great football too as well. I think the tight ends deserve a ton of credit, even though the production from a passing standpoint hasn't been there. They have been from week 1 integral in blocking in both pass protection and the run game. And so shout out to Colson Loveland for winning Offensive Player of the Week for his big time plays in the passing game. But he also, even in this game, had some huge blocks in the run game. And Rome, when you talk about no production with receiving, the Bears put it out. They put out a whole video how he was blocking his ass off all game on Sunday. So the buy-in that you're seeing from these guys and, the selflessness, no block, no rock, it's resonating.
That does come back to the coaching staff and Ben, and really let's include the defense and Dennis Allen as well, as far as you talk about the buy-in, good, better, best, all the excitement that you're seeing in the locker room. Now, do they have buy-in on who they're playing this week? Because when you get to 5-3 and the New York Giants come calling it 2-7 and you look at their roster, nothing jumps off the deck here for you. So Ben sounded the alarm. This was Ben Johnson sounding the alarm on the New York Giants coming to town on Sunday.
Listen, it's a good team coming on in here. I know what their record says, and I know I've been saying that for feels like the past few weeks, but you talk about a really talented group who, since they made the quarterback change, you can tell he's really given them a spark. Their offense can score some points, and they have playmakers. And then defensively, this you could argue this is the best defensive front that we've seen so far this year. And so, huge challenge at hand. We're going to have to be on our stuff here again this week, and I know the guys are going to be ready for this challenge. But really, a halfway point of the season was this last week, and so we're excited about what November and December have to hold. This is really where teams start to separate themselves, so they know that, and we're looking forward to this challenge.
So, do you buy it, Gregory? You buy it?
I mean, I'm buying that this is a must-win game here on Sunday against the Giants, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I say people say I say this every week. Do you know the Ravens game was not a must-win, but this game, when Huntley ended up starting, you could make that argument. But at the same time, they had, after they beat Washington, a little bit of margin for error. When you look at the schedule here coming up, you can't lose this game to the Giants.
Not if you want to make the playoffs. No, that would be very bad. It's interesting because when you look at the Giants, he's talking about their defensive front. I mean, Brian Burns got 11 sacks on the year, 11. That's more than all. That's how many sacks do the Bears have total? Whatever it is, it ain't enough.
Probably close to 11.
So. That's a major dude, and there was always like little minor rumors that the Bears would trade for Brian Burns or wanted Brian Burns. They'll have to deal with Brian Burns this week.
Well, it was reported that it was Poles had the decision between DJ Moore and that swap of the first round pick
Or Burns.
Yeah. And they chose DJ, reportedly.
Yeah, I don't buy it. I don't buy it.
I thought they wouldn't give up Burns, and that's why
No,
they
I
got DJ.
mean, chat, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what they were saying, was that was the option.
Okay, well, maybe I could be misremembering. Doesn't matter.
I've been really impressed with Jackson Dart this year.
He's done well.
He's got a lot of moxie. He's not afraid. Now, the one thing I will say, watching some of their games, I probably watched more of their games than you would have thought to start this year, but they put him in. They use him like Kyle Monungai. Like he takes a lot of hits, but he's not afraid to either. So he's got moxie. He's obviously lost some of their main targets, Malik Neighbors and Cam Scattaboo, but. I'm not sleeping on the Giants here on Sunday, especially after the Bears defense gave up 42 points. They better be ready for Sunday.
Yeah. Well, and this is not more as much as a Giants conversation as a Ben. To me, that's him like kind of sort of feeling that the locker room might be getting just a drop satisfied at 5-3, having won 5 of the last 6. And okay, hey, hello. Yeah, they're 2-7, but we easily could be a 2-6 team and not a 5-3 team. So let's not go crazy here and come in all puffy chested because a 2-7 team's coming in here. Steven, you look like you want to say something.
Yeah, I think that was coach speak from Ben Johnson.
Okay,
I look at this Giants team, and I might eat these words later. I don't think they're very good. Well, all right. Malik Neighbors, he's not coming through that door. Neither is Cam Scattaboo now.
Yep.
So it's Jackson Dart. Who's he throwing to? Anyone? Carman, I did this with you pre-show.
Yeah.
Who's the Giants' number 1 receiver?
Sterling Shepard?
No, he says he's on the Buccaneers.
Oh,
that just goes to my point, though.
Nobody knows.
Darius Slayton.
I'm sorry.
Wandale Robinson.
I get Shepard and Slayton confused. But
well,
yes,
Wandale's got by far the most yards and catches and whatnot, but he's not going to scare you over the top, obviously. So look,
they're running back.
Truth and
Tyrone
Mubs
Tracy.
are saying Wandale Robinson.
Yeah.
It's one or the other. Wandale Robinson's been healthy this year. Darius Slayton hasn't. They're both playing.
They're going to be able to move the ball, though. I mean, this Bears defense has pretty much let everyone move the ball on them. Even the Saints, when they went up 20-0, found themselves in a ball game.
The Saints have Chris Olave and Alvin Kamara. That's my point, is they really don't have any offensive weapons on that team right now. And to Jackson Dart's credit, he's making it work, and he's making it look pretty good. But, I think the luck has run out.
Listen, I thought about picking the Bengals last week. I thought about it 7,000 times, and I ultimately just couldn't pull the trigger because the way the line laid out, I was like, this feels like the Bears are winning. Of course, I had a heart attack 17 times. No one is picking the Giants to win this game this week. This will be a clean sweep across every NFL, ESPN, wherever. The Bears are going to be what's the spread right now? 3.5? It's not. It's not
only 3.5.
Yeah, it's not a ton.
I'm going to take the Bears to cover.
It's not a ton, which does scare you a little bit. All right. Hit the like button for Ben Johnson, for Adam Jahns, for Ryan Poles talking today, for the incredible cuteness that is Greg Braggs. We have the Tyson Bagent sit down at Banner yesterday is coming up in a second here. So great convo here. You have not seen it yet. I think you'll greatly enjoy it. Some good stuff on Ben, some good stuff about becoming a dad, some good stuff about what's going on in that locker room. And yes, we've got the breakdown of the one play that he got out there last week with a special name and some good stuff with Caleb here too. So let's do all that next, but first.
Want to give a shout out to our good friends over at Monarch Money. They certainly helped me get my financials in order, Mark, when we were buying a new car a couple weeks ago.
Miracle. Monarch Money, literally, it's a miracle. Go ahead.
Well, they are a lifesaver, honestly. I crashed my car. We had to figure out how we could fit my car into our budget. And Monarch Money is the app that helps you feel organized and confident in your finances. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean interface, whether it's on your laptop or on your phone. And right now, just for our listeners, Monarch is offering 50% off your first year. So that's just going to get you right with your investments, with your financials, and with all your data. That's how you are going to get in line. So don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use the code CHGO at monarch.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarch.com with code CHGO.
Could make an argument that Monarch saved your marriage. Hey, shout out to our friends at BetterHelp. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. And look, we all turn to some weird people for support in life when things are going sideways.
Yep.
Your barista, your massage therapist. Don't do that. Go to
Taco Bell delivery
guy. Go for the quality therapist. BetterHelp therapists work according to a strict code of conduct, fully licensed in the U.S. They have a therapist match commitment. When I went in there, and you have a list of categories of what you're looking for, and then they match you with somebody. So there's a very detailed way they go about it. Flexibility is huge, completely online. You can pause your subscription whenever you need it. So if you do a couple of sessions, I don't want to do anything for a couple of weeks, you pause it. It's a beautiful thing. As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of experience. Find one with BetterHelp. Our listeners, 10% off the first month. BetterHelp.com/CHGO. That's BetterHelp.com/CHGO.
All right, we are here with Tyson Bagent at Banner Kitchen and Bath Showroom.
I always knew that sometime this year, this is exactly where we'd be on a Tuesday night. Look at this place. This is unbelievable. I mean, big time on the field, but this is maybe even bigger off the field, right?
Yeah, I mean, I doubt they were prepping for this, but wow. I mean, what a setup. This is unbelievable.
Good crowd out here on a Tuesday night to see Tyson Bagent. And a fun, stressful game also on Sunday, I would say.
My goodness, that was something. We were all saying it was the craziest game that pretty much everybody in the locker room I spoke to that they had ever been a part of. So it was something.
So at 41-27, I started writing my recap of the game. I wasn't even the least bit nervous that anything could happen. What were you doing?
Yeah, well, you rewind back to 23 when we were in Cleveland playing against Joe Flacco, and
that's what I was doing in my mind.
Kind of a weird day that was too. I know we were up 20-10 late in that one, and he ended up rallying the troops. And with the offense they have, the weapons they have, that's kind of what we prepared for all week. We knew it was going to be a track meet. And that we knew we had to play all 60 minutes, and boy, did we have to play all 60 minutes. That was crazy.
So I had to figure, you get the contract extension back in August. At some point, Ben Johnson had to get you involved in a cool play. Like, it just seemed like it was going to happen. It was inevitable. So let's talk about that. Did it have a name?
Baby Daddy. Baby Daddy.
Baby Daddy?
Yeah, Baby Daddy, yeah. The birth of my daughter 2 weeks ago, and then
that's awesome.
And then we played Baltimore the week after she was born, and then that game went how it went. Go home. That Tuesday night, I get the install sent to me. I see the personnel says 11 bag. I'm like, oh snap! It's about time. But yeah, I was thinking the same thing you were thinking. At some point, they got to get their money's worth. So yeah, it was exciting, and Ben doesn't play about those plays throughout the week. If he's got a specialty play that he puts in and we execute throughout the week, if it doesn't look good, he scratches it. So I was itching for that one to look good in practice. It did, and then for that to carry on to the execution in game, it felt good. I mean, when you only got one play, it's like that'll make or break my whole week. If that play doesn't go right, I'm ready to leave right there. If it does go right, now I feel like the man again. So it was good.
I'm not going to go too, vulnerable here, but I went crazy when that play happened. I was jacked and a half. And then our people in the chat were like, Bagent, that play was actually better because he was looking down the field. It was multiple reads. Is that true too?
Yeah, absolutely. We had the tight end streaking down the field. Obviously, if they just dropped him, then that's where the ball would have went. and then kick it out to Caleb, which really it was set up to be a screen, just like, you know, a little hint like, hey, if they drop our guy, let's go ahead and throw a touchdown. That was originally going to be Cole, so when he went down, I'm like, oh shit, well there goes the play.
Yeah.
But then, you know, Love Land steps right in just like he did all day, and you know, all as well. So I thought it worked. I thought it looked good.
So did he rep that play at all then during the week? Because I can't imagine you.
No, I mean, not very stressful. I mean, hey Cole, hey Colson, line up here, run a straight line to the back pylon, and then.
Well, that explains why you didn't settle down then or throttle down.
I was saying if Coach would have somehow knew that was going to be the case and had him on like a 15-yard sit in the middle of the field, that would have been pretty gnarly. But still, it was an explosive, so we'll take it.
It was a fun play.
Yeah, I mean,
every other play was a fun play, it seemed like.
Well, it was a crazy day overall, but let's just, for a second here, let's talk about Colson, because you were throwing the ball a ton in training camp, and then it started out a little slow for him, but Ben's been like, this dude is a guy, and I'm assuming that for any Bears fan that's worried about Colson Loveland, you got words for him.
Oh, yeah, out of your mind. I mean, the dude's always in the right spot, always where he's supposed to be, when he's supposed to be there. And then when you're somebody that's doing that at a high level and you're also a freak enough to be the 10th pick in the draft, you know, it's not a matter of if, it's just when. And I think that we got to see that everybody got to see that on Sunday.
84 with the burst, man. The speed off that. I mean, not a lot of tight ends can run that fast.
He's dangerous with the ball.
I mean, run a dagger with him over the middle of the field like he's just a wide receiver.
Yeah, he looked good. He did look good.
So other than your play, Baby Daddy, what was I mean, like you said, there was a bunch of fun plays in that game. What was your next top favorite?
I mean, for Ben to just with no hesitation just call the play to Cole Kmet on the fourth play of the game, I thought that was pretty sweet, especially with how it worked out. I mean, aside from us not, you know, coming down with the catch, I feel like the execution of it, I mean, couldn't have gone better. Especially for a tight end come in motion, get some under center work in a game. I mean, that's stressful enough in itself.
Gotcha.
The pitch to go right, the throwback to go right,
Steven,
Jonah Jackson blocking 1-on-2, just locking stuff down out there, and then Cole, I thought, delivered a good ball. On the second progression too. Like that was his second progression.
Also, he got through. He got through his reads.
1-2, and then
that's awesome.
I thought he delivered.
Okay,
not a great ball, but a good ball.
I laughed at how many people didn't realize he was a lefty until that moment. I mean, he's been on the team longer than anybody. Basically,
it spins a little bit different when it's a lefty. It spins the wrong way.
Shout out, hopefully he can get healthy and play this week. So. You have said many times Super Bowl. Like, you're not afraid to put that on this team.
No, absolutely. I mean, if you're not saying that, I think you might as well just start preparing for next year, which the Chicago Bears we're not into doing that anymore. And Ben's not into doing that. The staff is not operating in the sense of that being the case. So, yeah, we're taking it one game at a time, ready, handle our business with the New York Giants coming up.
He's
and then
great.
Obviously, continue to do that week in, week out, try to win the NFC North, get a bid into the playoffs, and then, it's on and popping from there.
Can we talk good, better, best? Because, I mean, last week you were front and center. You had just a strong role in the video.
That was a good video.
That was a good video. It was a good video. And you're right there. You're like, you're ready to go. So. Yeah. Did you know before the season started that if you started winning games, that's what his rally cry would be? This dude's got the post game down.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think that the same way that the Bears are continuing to get better week in and week out and progress, I think the coaching staff is settling in too. I mean, they're dialing it in with the weekly process, especially with the speeches. I think, Ben obviously does a good job, post game, but I think that also. Coach L does a great job pregame, getting the guys ready, and you can tell Ben puts a lot of stress on those guys to, do their job at a high level. And as far as good, better, best goes, at first I thought it was the cringiest thing ever in the world, but Ben has just a way of operating. When everybody else is playing checkers, he's playing chess, and whatever he says, I don't know why, but I'm all in. I'm all in. So, yeah, now at this point it gets me hyped. And you're kind of looking forward to that because then, obviously if you're doing that, you won the game. So, you got a good week ahead of you and just kind of, keep hearing that speech as many times as we can going forward.
When did he first unleash that? Was that like a team meeting?
I think it was after the first win.
Oh, it was just so that was the first time.
did it, and then now it's just like, hey, if we win, you can expect that.
By the way, we only have one camera out here, so we can't pan it. But right now, your dad is arm wrestling one of the men in blue here. We got the cop versus Travis here. This is
One of Buffalo Grove's finest police officers here.
Just really have a battle out here. We're gonna talk to Pops in a minute here. All right, so with just one more on Ben. The last week, Theo Benedette has who was he blocking? I forget who it was. Whoever was on the Bears, he drove him into the bench all the way to the
I think
wall.
it was Stone, the safety.
And Ben's just sitting there as he like goes right past him, like doesn't even like no, he didn't even turn his head. He's on to the next play. First of all, shout out Benedette, and second of all, like on do you try to stay out of his way on the sidelines there because he just feels like that look?
Nobody's messing with Ben on game day. That's for sure. I don't talk to him. I don't plan on talking to him. And that's not of anything that's happened. That's just been kind of, that's just word that's traveled down the totem pole. So, yeah, I'm not messing with that dude on game day. That's for sure.
Yeah, he's in his zone. Although I think I caught him on the all-22 running down the sideline at Colson Loveland's touchdown. All of a sudden,
saw a little windmill. He was getting into it.
He was all the way down there like the 5-yard line. He let it go for a second. Just for a moment, got caught on film.
There you go, Ben. Let it out, Ben.
Hey, you can't. The film shows everything. You can't escape it. Let's talk about you for a second, man. It's been a whirlwind few months for you. And I know like any player in the NFL, you probably wish you out there playing every down, but you take a step back and kind of realize, yes, things are going well with the team right now, but you get that contract extension, baby, a few weeks ago. You got to be feeling pretty good right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. When people come up to me and they say congratulations, I don't know what they're talking about. How freaking awesome is that? So, yeah, I mean, I'm killing it right now. Yes, I'd love to be playing. However, I am fully submerged into my role on this team, which is to, help the defense get ready week in and week out, help Caleb get ready week in and week out, and prepare myself as if I am going to play all 60 minutes week in and week out. And I think as soon as you start to teeter that line of not really just executing everything that you need to be doing throughout the week, I don't play that. So I'm staying ready. I love where I'm at. The baby, I mean, my goodness, she's perfect. So, yeah, my life couldn't get much better right now. Especially, I mean, the Bears are 5-3.
Yeah.
I mean,
you
come
were
on
0-2, dog.
What are we talking about, man? We're 5-3 right now. We're killing it, trying to hit our stride at the right time. Because, you don't want to peak too early, in this league, November and December. We got to be able to execute at a high level, and I think that's the trajectory. That's the trajectory we're on, and the baby, it's just all exciting stuff happening right now.
What grade you giving yourself on birthday? Like, how did it's got first time dad in the room, a lot going on there. How'd you do?
What do you like? Her birthday?
No, on the day that your daughter entered the world.
Oh, yes,
your role that day
yes.
supporting as
oh, well, listen, it was not a smooth delivery, so I'm not having no more kids ever again. That was the scariest thing I've ever dealt with in my life. But as soon as everything calmed down a little bit, yeah, my role, honestly, I just had eyes on the baby the whole time. Had her mom there, thank God, that was up there dealing with her. Not for 1 second did I even think of taking my eyes off of what was happening. So I would say that was my role. I was just kind of chaperoning, making sure the doctors weren't doing any funny shit while we were in there. So I had to pop off or something. But, no, it was good. It was good.
A+. Whole new life over here.
Yeah, unbelievable.
What a ride it's been, and hopefully it's just getting started this season, too.
Let's go. Bear down. 5-3. How many games? We got 9 games left. 14-3. I'm calling it right now. I ain't gonna do that. But nah, we got the Big Blue coming into town. It's going to be a big week. They don't have the best record, but you could see that they found a spark behind the young man they got at quarterback, and they're a dangerous team. As I don't know who they beat. He beat somebody else solid, and then obviously we saw that Denver game. If they don't score 33 points in the fourth quarter, then that's also a huge.
Well, they beat the Eagles.
So. Yeah, exactly. There it is. Yeah, they beat the Eagles. So another week we got to handle business.
And last one, your CrossFit performance on the beat page, and you were at 43. I came in at 310.
There you go.
But
that's 6 minutes better than you said.
I did like a warm up 9 minute, but I mean you were focused, but behind you there, I mean. 52-year-old Carm just battling that. On some level, that's got to be, you got to have some respect,
Hey,
right?
I think that was a foundation for what's to come.
That's right. See, hear that, Hope Foundation for what's to come.
I love it.
Plus, you're 22 at heart, Carm.
Yeah,
You know
That's
that.
right. That's right.
You're not 52.
3-5 in the tennis league. Could be a, rise up as a.
You got to keep that to yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, stop talking about that, Carm.
Hey, shout out to Banner. Thanks for having us out here. We appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, couldn't have been a better setup. A lot of people coming out showing support. And Bears Nation, let's keep this thing rolling.
Yeah, we'll let you get to the people here. Go get that W this week against the Jahns.
Let's go, Tyson.
Absolutely, let's go.
Appreciate it.
All right. Most likable guy ever. Come on. We are headed into our overtime to discuss that interview for the next 48 minutes. But so it is a reminder to become a diehard, where you get a free T-shirt the second you do. Discount on all our merch, discount on all our events. Huge event coming up on Sunday. The tailgate is going to be sweet.
That's right.
Our friends from Rhythm. We got a THC drink that's going to be in the coolers for you coming up on Sunday, in addition to our regular stuff. So we'd love to see you out at the tailgate on Sunday. Braggs will be there at 7:30.
I'm excited. It's going to be a fun tailgate, I can tell you that right now. With the Bears having a chance to move to 6-3 on the season, we'll see. Hopefully it's a nice, beautiful day out, but never stops the tailgaters, no matter rain, sleet, snow, sun shining, don't matter. Bears fans are always there. So come out to the corner of Wabash and Cermak. Go to allchgo.com/events if you want to get your tickets. Again, if you're a diehard, use that QR code on your screen. You can get a discount on that event when you do.
Yeah.
It was a great interview.
He's the best.
The one thing I'll say, and I've said this numerous times throughout training camp, but Bears fans should feel lucky that we have a backup like Tyson Bagent, because just even watching that interview and the way he talks about the game and just how the alertness he has, I just have the trust that he will always stay ready. And if there ever comes a moment, I've said it a million times, the average for starting quarterbacks in this league is, to start a whole season, it's around, or how many games does a starting quarterback for each team in the NFL start in the league? It's around 15 games per year. So most teams have to use their backup quarterback at some point. Now, we've been lucky. Caleb made it through all 17 games last year. He's been great this year, avoiding sacks. But the reality is, at some point, you do have to lean on your backup quarterback at times. And I don't know how many are as ready as this dude is when he comes in. The pass play last week, I think, is case in point of that. Like, that's not an easy play design that you're being involved in, and you're now put into the game scheme. And that's not an easy pass over the top across the line of scrimmage to Caleb Williams to the other side of the field. And it was a great ball. It's the only pass he's thrown all year. So I have trust that he'll always be ready to play when his number is called upon.
Well, yeah, to what you're talking about, I'm locked into my role, getting the defense ready, running the scout team, helping Caleb, and staying ready at the same time. I mean, go out there and play wide receiver, catch the ball. Not the simplest thing in the world. Dude's an athlete, and then
right.
the throw. What's happening over? Never mind.
Steven's nipples just came out.
Steven's changing.
Just taking off my hoodie, all right?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, your shirt came off and nipples were out. Go ahead.
Dude's in shape. Hey, congratulations, Steven. The guy works out hard. Works out on the show. Works out hard. Anyway, yeah. Good distraction here. Me and Braggs, both with the ADD. Shout out to our guy Stephen Nicholas, who drove from our show yesterday after trade deadline, came out and made everything happen last night. We had the setup we had to do it in 5 seconds. Banner Kitchen and Bath, they were awesome hooking us up. So that place is unbelievable. If you're
That's
looking for anything for your home, they've got it going on over there. And thanks to Tyson and thanks to Travis for setting it up. Hopefully we'll get to do some more of that coming up. I've got one thought on the back end here.
Yes, sir.
Well, so I believe there's been a lot of noise around James Adunze and on Twitter. And I just want to say, and the Bears put out a video talking about Rome, which
He
some
was
people
mic'd
think
up in the last game.
he was mic'd up, and some people think that was a response to James, who's complaining that his son's not getting the ball enough.
The caption they put was selfless.
Yeah.
And then James Adunze retweeted it.
Yeah. So I just want to say, I wish I had a dad like James Adunze who believed in me. Because whenever, and I love my dad and R.I.P. and I miss him every day. But when I told him like I'm going to go into media, he was like, "That's really hard and you'll never make any money." And when I did have some level of success, he's like, "I can't believe you're on the air in Chicago." I'm like, "Well, thanks, Dad." Versus James Adunze is out there thinking it like his kid should get the ball every single play and is willing to tell the world about it. So I know a lot of people are like, "This guy's out of pocket." I'm sitting there like, man, if Papa Fred had been like, "You could do this," I think I could have been in the NBA, or at least made a D3 roster somewhere, one of the two. So
Yeah, I mean,
I know it's a touchy subject.
no, I just think that, I mean, I've covered high school sports. I still cover college sports, and now I cover pro sports. Parents at all levels really believe in their kids. You know, not all parents convey that on social media, and so I think that's
Some don't though. Some parents don't believe in their kids. They really don't. They want to be like better than their kids. They're not willing to.
Yeah, but most athlete parents, you know.
Well, that's fair. They all think that their kid is going, to the top of the mountain.
Now, my mom is like James Adunze. Like, my mom has believed in me from day one.
Shut up,
And
Barb.
for 33 of the 39 years I've lived on this earth, she really didn't have a ground to stand on for the belief. Like, why she was believing in me.
But she knew.
And Jenny, too. But my mom started with her. She believed in me. She defended me to the edge of the earth when I was completely in the wrong many times, and that's just who she was. And she's a school teacher for 40 years, so she should have known better. But that's a parent's love right there. And so I my whole kind of contention with it is like, yeah, it's better when parents, or like I've had a friend that played for Purdue basketball. There was many times I would see people saying things that were wrong about his role on the team, or saying things about him wanting to get benched. And there was, just as a friend, I never crossed that bridge to like engage with fans when I knew more than they did, or I had, pride for him and what he was doing. Now, that's his decision. And so once you do that, you do open yourself up to criticism and engagement from other fans. But I also have kind of seen this go down over the last few days, and I've seen a lot of fans going at Rome's dad. And I just think, for me personally, as a Bears fan first, which there's certainly a gray area as I'm in media, but to me, I'll always be a Bears fan first. I'm not going to use my platform to amplify James's over pride of Rome, to then send my followers to go fight and attack him over this. Like, I don't think there's a win there as a Bears fan. Like, just let him talk about whatever he wants to talk about. But there's no putting toothpaste back in the tube there. Once he puts it out there, like I said, I get it's fair game. I just think I've never been a big guy about talking about players' families that much. I've never once made a joke about Aaron Rodgers' family issues or any of that nature. I don't think it's. I wouldn't want people talking about my family out of pocket, so I typically stay away from most family issues. We did have to talk about Caleb Williams' dad, when we were coming into the draft, but that's because he's very involved in the process. He's basically his agent in a lot of ways. So sometimes it kind of crosses paths that way. But I always try to be very respectful of parents of players when I'm covering a team.
Well, and that's the right way. You don't get into the personal. You don't get into the family. That's 100%. But there's also a huge story there. I mean, we had Teddy Greenstein on this show who wrote Quarterback Dads. And you don't get into that position in life unless you have somebody majorly supporting you in a variety of ways to build the belief in yourself, to giving you the structure to a zillion things. I mean, look, the greatest golfer of all time, arguably, whatever, Tiger Woods, his dad had him watching golf videos when he was in this, literally as a baby in the swing. And, he started first playing golf when he was 3 years old. That was because of his dad. When it comes to Tyson, who we just had on, Travis made him the quarterback when he was 10 years old because he was running the team.
Right.
Like these things.
And Travis is a big
Travis
figure.
is Tyson has talked about it. His dad's his right-hand man. Rome's dad obviously has had a huge impact on Rome. So, look, there's a lot of ways this conversation can go. Yeah, like going to a youth sporting event for me and having parents screaming at umpires or harassing coaches, like that is so unbelievably upsetting and ridiculous, and I think they should be banned and not allowed back until they figure out how to handle themselves at a game. Like that is a major problem. James Adunze being on Twitter talking about his dad
Or his son.
or his son, excuse me. Look, I wouldn't tell him to do it, but I also don't think this is going to have some huge impact on Rome. Rome is a grown man.
But it's to the point now where it could, because today it did get picked up by, I was kind of searching through Bears Twitter, and somebody almost asked Ben Johnson about it today, if you go back and listen to the audio, but there were, like, in the scrum of who asked the next question, like, you can hear somebody about to ask, and then somebody else got their question in over them. And so I think it is very likely at this point, when you've got 670 talking about it, you got us talking about it, you got a lot of people, that are content creators talking about it. I think there's a very good chance that Ben could potentially be asked about it, but also Rome could be asked about it here at some point.
And he'll say, look, my dad, I would assume that what he'll say, because, look, has Rome ever not succeeded when the camera's in front of him? The dude handles himself incredibly well. So what will he say? I'm not exactly sure, but I think it'll be something along the lines of, look, I don't speak for my dad, and, my dad's out there, and, I don't pay a whole lot of attention to it. He wants me to get the ball, which like a lot of parents do. Something along those lines. It doesn't, Rome's not going to lose focus or stop working or walk into Ryan Poles' office and be like, my dad's right, I need the ball more, get me out of here. None of that's going to happen. Come on. Rome is going to go about his work like he always does. This is just my opinion, but I don't think that this is going to be keeping Rome up at night.
No. Obviously, I'm a little more in tune with what goes on, the very small intricacies of what goes on Bears Twitter, but I also know how nasty Bears Twitter can be. I think both of us have had many experiences with people saying things that
I'm super popular on Bears Twitter.
Yeah, and so I just think as someone that's also a content creator on Bears Twitter, and there's many out there that do a lot of great work and have big followings, I think then you have to make a decision on how you put things out there. And if you're going to be critical towards the media stirring the pot and creating negativity around the team, or creating division or whatever you want to say to amplify things for clicks or followers or comments, when you amplify what Rome's dad's putting out there and then it sends your following there saying crazy things, sometimes can be threatening or disrespectful or personal. Like, you're kind of now a part of that in some ways. And that's to me why I stay away from it, because, again, as a Bears fan first, the last thing I would want is to amplify that and then have some fan say something that now gets back to Rome. And now that's a representation of Rome of how fans speak to his family. Like, I don't know. It's maybe there's.
So you worry that because Bears fans are speaking poorly to his dad that he'll not want to play for the Bears?
No, that's the stretch too far. But I'm just saying none of it is good, right?
Right. But Drake May just had the comment recently about social media. I think most athletes get this. When you're going great, they love you. When you're not, it'll flip. That is the nature of any fan base in literally any city.
Yeah, of course.
And so
I just think if his fan is overly proud of his son's abilities, then let him, Like, I've seen a lot of encouraging fans say, like, hey, man, just so you know, we all love Rome. The Bears love Rome. Like, that to me is, if you're going to interact with a player's dad, like, that's the right way of going about it.
Well,
But, like, if you're going to start going down the road of, like, trying to, have a social media fight with a player's dad, I don't know. Like, to me,
I agree.
it's the big leagues, though. I mean, I think it's extremely out of.
You
You see it more at the college level, where you'll see family online talking, and I think it's extremely out of bounds to talk to,
college kids,
players' families. Yeah, college kids, and then even high school level too. As a player is getting recruited to college, like, that's where I think it's extremely out of bounds. Pro level, I mean, that's what they get paid. That's part of the territory. But I just think, I don't know. Personally, I stay away from family stuff.
Yeah. Well, look, emotions get involved in all this stuff. And my 2 cents of advice on the back end of this is just know that if you're a parent going to a game and your kid's out there, you are going to be feeling lots of things. You are going to want to kill the official at some point. You have to know that in advance because you're a human being. So you have to strategize for it. And it's the same thing with Bears Twitter. You got to know if you're going on there that you're going to get triggered. What are you going to do when that hits? Are you going to be the guy that goes on there and screams at Rome's dad and says that your son needs to catch the ball? Okay, good. You can do that. That's you then. You, and maybe you'll never look in the mirror at how ridiculous it is to do something like that. I hope that at some point you'll wake up and realize that's completely preposterous.
Well, in the chat too, somebody just brought it up. Jaden Daniels' mom is heavily involved in Jaden Daniels' process and all that,
right.
And that's led to people saying extremely disrespectful stuff about Jaden Daniels' mom all over quarterback rivalries. Right. And I just think, I get social media is the Wild Wild West. Anybody says whatever they want. I always kind of look at it from the lens of, would I want someone talking about my mom that way or my family? And if the answer's no, then I don't say it.
Well, also, and check yourself. Dude, her son is in the NFL. His son is in the NFL. They obviously did something right. That doesn't happen by accident. So you can have all the judgments that you want, and I'm sure I have some of them too. But at the end of the day, let's talk about what is. The dude's in the NFL making millions of dollars, living a great life, having a ton of fun. That's a hell of a job by any parent.
Yeah, I mean,
by accident, by direction, by whatever it is.
That's why I always said, like, LeVar Ball, who was somebody that was very heavily involved with.
He got 2 kids to the NBA. That's right. Ridiculous.
I always made that, like, people would say, oh, he's a fantastic dad.
Right.
You know,
some parents are not out there. I don't care if you like me, you're going to respect me. One of my guys in tennis, Taylor Fritz, hated his dad. His dad pushed him to the end of the year. Now he loves him. I made it to the top of the tennis world. I'm rich beyond my wildest dreams, and I got to play in the biggest tournaments in front of the most fans of the whole thing. Like, look, navigating the sports world to get to the top is like nearly impossible. It's 1 in a billion. And so give respect to the people that made it there. That's why I always, get excited about athletes and whatnot, because we all, like, I would give up so many years on my life to have been able to. Hey, Carm, you can play in the NBA for 10 years, but you'll only live to X years. I'm probably saying yes, because that is a lot of fun. Now, we don't have to have that discussion, but it's like, give these guys their props for getting to where they got to. It's so incredibly hard to get there.
Absolutely.
And it requires so much work. So, all right. That's that. Good talk. You were great today. What do you want to tell me about Kyle Monangai where I got wrong? Go ahead.
Well, he did win the Angry Run Scepter from Kyle Brandt on Good Morning Football. So shout out to Kyle Monangai. Once again, shout out to Colston Loveland.
Shout out Kyle Brandt.
For winning NFC Offensive Player of the Week.
Yeah.
But yeah, going back to Monangai.
What did I say?
It wasn't just a few weeks ago that you
I
were
not the
mocking Ryan Poles and the Bears for passing over Krosky.
I mocked him.
What's his name? Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt.
Who was off to a much better start than Kyle Monangai.
But he's fallen off lately.
Yeah? Did I say that it was over?
Now Monangai's beast mode.
Who was the first guy?
Has Krosky Merritt won
Talk to that.
the run? No. You said I get the floor here, sir. You said I get the floor here.
Oh yeah, okay, fine. I'm sorry.
He won the Angry Run Scepter.
Yeah.
Because he's an amazing player.
Yeah.
Mighty Mouse, whatever we're gonna call him. So now it's time. Now it's time to pay your penance here. You mocked the Manung guy, and you're the one that came up with the "I'm a Manung guy."
I came up with it. That's right. I came up with it.
But that's
not you.
Yeah,
not
well,
anybody.
I intercepted
I'm a Manung
it
guy
because you gave up on him.
I didn't give up on him. I didn't give up on him at all. I just said that this dude over here in Washington,
You're like,
who the Bears have to deal with this week.
Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt. Why do we need to draft a guy like that?
Elusive, making moves.
Now he's
dynamic threat.
now he's
Hey,
now
listen.
he's been held down, and now it's Manung guy's time.
Well, look, shout out Kyle Manungai, who's a great guy. Who was that guy that sat with him at training camp and just identified him and did that interview? Can we replay that interview right now, Steven? Carman Manungai. I'm a Manungai.
I don't have it ready.
Congrats.
You know he never fumbled in college.
Yes, I do.
Never fumbled.
Yeah.
I mean that come on. The writing was on the wall, and I'm glad he finally got his opportunity. And it'll be fun to see if Swift does return this week. But I mean, to your point, and you kind of sniffed this out that Swift needed to take a break. Like, I don't think it's the worst thing if he sits another week here.
Well, we'll see when the injury report comes out this week if he's practicing. But I think, and I'm going to try to get this confirmed by Ben when I go out there on Friday. But I think they looked at it like, look, the Bengals defense stinks. The Giants defense stinks. It's a good time in the schedule to give him a break, plus the fact that he's not healthy. So all of it, he's not 100%. So all of this plays into it. And maybe they were Manung guys optimistic on him and that he could handle it. And he certainly handled it last week. So
Eric Bochanan in the chat. Ashton Genty, 124 carries for 427 yards and 3 touchdowns. Kyle Manungai in half the amount. 63 carries for 387 yards and 1 touchdown. Who needs to trade up to draft Ashton Genty 3 when you can draft Kyle Manungai in the 7th round and get the same player?
Yeah.
As we overstate things to end the show. What's great about overtime is none of this is kept for the record book. So I can just say whatever wild things I want.
This is all on YouTube.
Yeah.
And
Colston
Spotify.
Loveland.
And Spotify.
Colston Loveland has
and in my head.
more 100-yard games than Tyler Warren, more 2-touchdown games than Tyler Warren, more NFC Offensive Player of the Week awards than Tyler Warren.
I don't know if people are getting that are watching the show, but it's one of the things that I do. And Braggs is.
Listen, Steven's been doing this for quite some.
I've been doing it now. It's honestly hilarious, but you do that all the time when you notice something that you had right that no one wanted to give you credit on. You go, you should listen. Then you have the new thing you do.
What's the new one?
Oh, I should have drafted cards while he was that thing.
It's better. It's more just right to the point. Crystal.
Everybody thinks I'm an idiot, but I have the best record picking games.
Don't know what I'm talking about. 6-2. All right, Crystal, $10 super chat. The amazing Crystal, great show plus a TB17 appearance. See you guys Sunday. Always bear down. So Crystal will be at the old tailgate. It's going to be a great one. I think it might be snowing. Are we getting snow on Sunday? Is that accurate?
I saw a possibility of snow in the forecast. I think it's later in the day, though.
I don't really buy it. I've been watching some different. I put it in Slack earlier. I'm good with the weather stuff. Don't say I'm not good with the weather stuff. Remember earlier this year you mocked me when I did the weather report before one of the games. What game was that? Where I had the weather report on the pregame show and they mocked me and then I ended up being right.
Oh, it was supposed to rain, right?
And it rained at like halftime and I called it.
Yeah.
And you guys mocked me and I hit the nail on the head. So don't mock me this time. And you're not getting any more fist bumps. You're over fist bumping. Okay? Tyson didn't want to fist bump you and neither do I.
We're going to make that something here, that loss, because that's what it was.
Now, listen, I did see some different forecasts and weather coverage that says there could be snow Saturday night, Sunday morning. But if you look at the temperature, it's a high of 50 on Saturday, high of 42 on Sunday. I don't know if the temperature is going to drop down quite enough for there to be, some tangible snow, overnight that sticks to the ground. So I just don't see it.
Yeah, okay. There you have it. It won't snow on Sunday. Greg Braggs has never been wrong about the weather or, let's be honest, anything else.
That's true.
Perfect thoughts.
I do.
No doubt about it. But behind the scenes here today, when he wanted to come in and scream about Monungai, and I was like, can you
What
not?
are you screaming? It's a statement.
I just wanted to talk about it, and I was prepping, or just didn't want to talk to Braggs, one of the two. He walked out on me and went on the balcony and and told me that to never speak on anything ever again. But now we're back. We're back.
Nope. You've gotten enough fist bumps
We're back.
today.
We're back. We're back, even if we're not back. All right, I'm going to get a physical today. Can't wait for that experience, and hopefully it'll go well.
What are you doing?
4:30 physical.
That's great.
Hopefully they're going old school.
We all silly like the mayor.